I apologize for the late episode. Christmas was this past week, and I've been kind of occupied with things, but I finally watched episode 5 of Star Wars Skeleton Crew called You Have a Lot to Learn About Pirates. And I must say that this episode was adventurous. I actually think I found this episode really enjoyable. There are a few things that I kind of have issue with, but I think overall this is a good episode, and I like the direction that the series is heading in. Episode 5 basically takes us to a brand new planet. Lupa is one of its names. They're basically searching for the treasure, the coordinates here. And basically, they have to go through this almost mine shaft Indiana Jones-like adventure where there's booby traps that they have to avoid, and it's actually a really fun episode. I think they did a great job building up the tension and building up the adventure aspect. I'll admit that there are some things I don't like. I am going to have to get into spoilers, so I will say this. There is a group of pirates hunting Crimson Jack, who goes by another name in this episode. He has a lot of names, apparently. And the way they dispose of these pirates is by filling the way they came in with acid. So basically, they go into the treasure room, and the door is blocked off, and they have KM33, or KB33, might have gotten it wrong, fill the, pathway back with acid. So basically, just destroying the issue. Just destroying all of these bounty hunters. And that works on a physical level, but I do think that's kind of lame. Oh great, all they did was pour acid? Really? You had all these pirates here and they just poured acid? I mean, it works, it makes sense why it worked, but it is a little bit dumb. I thought, though, I like how this episode keeps having little bits of the parents getting involved while not making it feel overburdened. You know, every few episodes you have a little check-in where you see the parents trying to set up things for trying to find the kids or discussing what's going on. And I think it's very natural to have those little interventions because it reminds you that these parents do care about their children. I also like how Wim in this episode is really feeling down. He's feeling like he's failed his team. He's feeling like this isn't the adventure he wanted. And Crimson Jack basically tells him, let go of your attachments, which I find really interesting with what happens later in the episode. And that basically being a fight between Crimson Jack and Fern, or an attempted fight. Basically, Crimson Jack ends up turning, and, he's a pirate. He is scamming all these kids, which I think everyone knew. And I will say this, Star Wars is really bad at twists. I'm sorry, they're just really bad at twists under Disney. The Acolyte, this series, I really like Skeleton Crew. I think it's a really good series, but they're bad at twists. But what I will say is that I do like how it works at the end, where he just kind of turns, and I was actually kind of waiting for it, because I was kind of wondering how dumb these kids were. No offense against them, but, I think I would have been a little upset if we got to episode 8, and then he turned out to be the villain. You guys have been with him for approximately, let's say, 12 hours, maybe more, and you just realize he's a bad guy, but thankfully they do it in episode 5, so kind of the after midpoint, meaning episode 6, 7, and 8 will have to deal with the fact that Crimson Jack is a pirate that wants the treasure for himself. And I do like how Wim tries to use a lightsaber against him, and how Jack pulls the knife earlier, which is how he has the weapon, in order to try and attack Fern. I think the way they do that is really cool. I was kind of expecting him to turn. I was kind of expecting he was a Sith. But what I was going to say is interesting is he tries to tell Wim to let go of his attachments. And the reason I find that interesting is those are the words of the Jedi. The Jedi were known for their attachments. for that being their downfall with Anakin. So I find it interesting that a Sith, he's not a Sith per se, but that's what I assumed he might be, would be telling him to let go of his attachments. And he does have the Force, so I am very interested where this goes. But like I said, I did think the lightsaber that Wim had thing was kind of cool. I'm curious where the series is going to go from here, because they put themselves kind of in a corner of how are the kids going to get out of this. If I had any theories, a cameo, someone to fight Crimson Jack, I would think. I mean, you have Luke, you have Ahsoka running around this time. I'm not trying to spread rumors, but those are my theories, that you have to have someone come in and try to deal with this character. I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know. So, I really liked episode 5. I think they're doing a great job. I just hope that each episode can keep up the tension and the anticipation. Very curious to see how the series ends, because I would assume that they want to make this a multi-season series, though I don't really think they can. But it was never called a limited series, so I'm very interested what their plan is, but I really like Skeleton Crew Episode 5, once again titled, You Have a Lot to Learn About Pirates, and I can't wait for the next coming episodes. And I will warn you that Episode 6 will probably be another late video, as I will be out of town for New Year's. So expect the Episode 6 video to come a little bit later, but thank you guys for watching, and bye for now.